Hey Watford fans, welcome back to the channel. No Birmingham fan on the match preview today. You just have me, so I'm sorry about that. But look, I'm really excited about this one. We're on the prime time slot on television, Monday night, live on Sky Sports. So that within itself is quite exciting. I think we've sold out the away end as well, so great support from the travelling fans as always too. But I think for me, there's two clubs in the Championship this season that have a bit of a travelling circus around them, and that's nothing wrong. That's absolutely fair for me to say. But I do think on these two clubs particularly, there is an added expectation from them supporters to do well. One of them clubs is Wrexham, and the other is Birmingham. Now, Wrexham, of course, have Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds involved there, branded the Hollywood club, if you will, and Birmingham City have also American owners, but Tom Brady is also heavily interested and involved in that project too. They've just recently announced their new stadium, and quite rightly, their fans have a certain expectation and performance that they want to see their team produce week in, week out. So this game in a normal season without all of this noise would be pretty bog standard for Watford. The last time we went to Birmingham, we actually beat them by 1-0 under Tom Cleverley. Emmanuel Dennis getting the winner in that game. But this time round, it's totally different. As I said, the new stadium has been announced in the past couple of weeks, and that looks fantastic. By the way, it gives me Battersea Power Station vibes, but also the investment in League One that has now translated into the Championship is on show for everyone to see. Now, actually, Birmingham City find themselves 10th place on 25 points, pretty much level with where Watford are this season. They've had a few very good performances, a few off games as well. Most recently, they beat Norwich City by 4-1 at home. They just drew with West Brom 1-1 away from home too. So I think on their day, Watford certainly have a chance. But my general feeling going into this one is actually pretty negative. Now, I'm always a pessimist, so that shouldn't surprise many of you. And Watford are 5 games unbeaten, 2 wins, 3 draws. So I should be a bit more happy and optimistic than I am. But even after our win away at Derby County, the away form is just, it's in the back of my mind. I'm still not quite sure Watford have got over that hump and can progress forward. And I think this is going to be a real acid test, actually, to see if we have moved on from that slump and we can find some more consistency and ruthlessness, I think is what Javi has called for. In his pre-match press conference, he's spoken about the need to score more goals and for our strikers to contribute more than they have done, which I think is a very valid point. And when I look at Birmingham's team, they have immense quality. I'm just taking a look actually at some of the players that featured in their most recent 1-1 draw. And even on the bench, they have some real seasoned pros in the Championship. Jack Robinson, Lyndon Dykes, Ryan Alsop is on the bench. Lewis Kumas is a very exciting young talent. Kyogo as well. He started the season really brightly. The players who started include Damari Gray, Jay Stansfield, Patrick Roberts, Tommy Doyle. So the Birmingham team for me is at face value probably on paper on par or better than this Watford side. So I think for me going into this one, would I be happy with the draw? Probably, just purely because the next couple of home games are verging on the easier side for the Hornets in Norwich City and Sheffield Wednesday. So I definitely would take a draw. But if we are to progress properly this season and be real contenders at the top end of the league, a win away from home here would do us the world of good. Injury news for the Hornets is pretty much as it was. Selvik remains out for this one, as do Rocco Vata and Kwadwo Bar. But a real positive for us was actually in the last game against Preston and the return of Georgie Shakfatatse. Really pleased to see him come back into the fold. And I was actually quite surprised that he played for as long as he did. When I saw him on the bench against Preston, I thought, oh, he might come on, 5 or 10 minutes in extra time, maybe towards the very end of the match. But actually, Javi used him much earlier than I anticipated. And I'm hoping the medical staff and Javi are on the same page and that Georgie is ready to go. Will he start in this one? I'm not entirely sure. I very much doubt it, but this is where we'll get on to my predicted 11. Okay, so what you will see now is the team that started against Preston North End at Vicarage Road. We had Nathan Baxter in goal, Ngakia at right back. Kevin Caben and Matty Pollock were the two central defenders, and Mark Boller is holding down that left back position, which is fantastic to see. Edu Kayembe was on the right, a midfield pairing of Imran Louza and Edu Kayembe, and Othman Mama, who had a fantastic game, found his way over on the left-hand side. And Javi opted to go with the front two of Mamadou Doumbia and Luca Kiramgard. So that was the team we saw against Preston. What do I want to see against Birmingham City? Let's find out. Okay, so as you can see, very obviously, I've gone for a change of shape here. Now, this is what my team would be, not what Javi's team would necessarily be. I think Javi will very much stick with the 4-4-2, and because of the length of time we've had between the games, it's not like we're playing Wednesday, Saturday or Tuesday, Saturday. We've pretty much had a week between the games. So actually with Javi's team, I think he'll pretty much go for an unchanged lineup, or maybe one or two changes in there potentially for him. But for me, as I've said before in these videos, I'm always a fan of a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, and that is essentially what I've gone with here. So Baxter would retain his place in goal, of course, in place of the injured Egil Selvik. I've stuck with Ngakia, Caben, Pollock and Boller. Whilst they aren't all my favourite players at the club, I do think consistency in team selection, especially defensively, long term, will actually work out in our favour, and hopefully, eventually, it will lead to more clean sheets. So I've gone unchanged for Watford defensively. The two deeper midfielders of Louza and Hector, I think, would work really well. And just because Javi has leaned on experience since his comeback to the club, I've gone for Tom Ince almost as a second striker who could run in behind Mamadou Doumbia, or also as a 10 who could find pockets of space ahead of these two midfielders as well. So Ince is in that 10 position for me. I've gone with Othman Mama over on the left-hand side. I think he very much deserves to keep his place in the team after his performance against Preston North End. And of course, the absences of Rocco Vata and Kwadwo Bar certainly help him in that regard as well. And Nestri Irankunda is particularly interesting for me because when I listened to Javi Gracia in his press conference, he described Nestri actually as a second forward or a second striker, and that's how he's been deployed so far since he come back to the club. Javi has used Irankunda almost as kind of a second runner in behind, whether he's paired with Luca or Mamadou Doumbia, when actually for me, I think Irankunda at his best is probably a wide player on the wing, running at his fullback and either getting crosses into the box or shots away on goal. So Irankunda for me definitely should start out wide on this right hand side. And in terms of the striker, we of course have three options to choose from. We have Rivaldo Semedo, Luca Kiramgard and Mamadou Doumbia. But in terms of all three of them and how highly I would rate them currently, I think Rivaldo Semedo is certainly in third place for me at the moment. He's a decent bench option, but certainly not a starter. Doumbia and Luca run each other close, but I do think Doumbia at the moment just about has the edge, especially when it comes to his work rate. And actually his ability to hold up the ball, I think, is better than Luca Kiramgard as well. So if I was Javi going into this one, this is what I would do. I'm expecting a few comments from you guys watching, probably saying, James, that's a bit too attacking. Maybe the 4-4-2 is the way to go. And maybe you are right, but this is what I would like to see as a football fan. I'm a massive fan of wide players, wingers cutting inside and getting shots away on goal. So, yeah, one more time. Baxter in goal. I've gone Ngakia, Caben, Pollock, and Bola. Loser and Hector, of course, is the two sitting midfielders. Incy in this 10 position. And of course, remember, with Georgie coming back now as well, I'm sure you may see him in the second half, which would look, as you say, as you can see now, that looks even more exciting with Mamar, Georgie, and Iran Kunda all part of that front line. As I said, Mamar over on the left, Kunda on the right, and Mamadou Doumbia up front. So let me know if you agree in the comments down below. Okay, team selection done. It's score prediction time. What am I going to go with for this one? Firstly, a massive shout out to all of you who are making the journey. Well, it's quite a short journey actually to Birmingham. It's not too bad on the train, but it still requires a lot of dedication nonetheless. So a massive shout out to all of the travelling Hornets going. Okay, what am I going to go with in this one? 5 unbeaten, 2 wins, 3 draws. I don't think we're going to win. I'm going to put it out there right now. I don't think Watford will come away with 3 points. But we do have favourable fixtures coming up at Vicarage Road, which I'm more confident about. And I think a draw on the road here would be very, very good. And an entertaining draw at that. So I'm going to go Birmingham City 2, Watford 2. Off-man Mama to open his Watford account. And Mamadou Doumbia to get a late equaliser. That's what I'm going with. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. And we're entering the festive period now. Tomorrow, as I record this video, we're set to put up our Christmas tree, which is very exciting. I love it when Christmas arrives. It's my favourite time of year. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and plenty of football matches to come as well. I'll be here live on Monday night, so do join me if you are available. And yeah, there's so much great content to look forward to throughout December. Previews, reactions, maybe a nice interview sprinkled in there as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, looking forward to finally a sustained period of football without these silly international breaks. They really do irritate me when we have one in September, October, November. It just breaks up the season too much. So to get back to football consistently without a break, it's exactly what I love. So yeah, really looking forward to it. As I said, let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.